When I started my candle business, I took a lot of pride in learning all of the ins and outs of everything I needed to do to be successful. It's been very challenging, really hard, a lot of obstacles I've overcome, a lot of things I've learned by seeking out the information that I wasn't able to find just by Googling it. A lot of the questions that I had, I didn't even know the correct professional person to ask the question to. I just had no idea so many things. But because I wanted to be able to do everything, I wanted to be in the business 100%. I thought that if I didn't do everything, then it wasn't completely my business, which is so funny to think now because there's no business out there that can to any degree grow to be successful without some help behind it. And if you're wanting to do everything 100% yourself, then you have to be okay with having almost like a limited level that you're able to take it to. So, I became everything in the business: the candle maker, the product designer, social media manager, shipping specialist, product photographer. I did all of the designing on all of the labels, bookkeeping, and so many things that come into the business side. I wanted to be able to do everything. And I've always been somebody who really loves learning. So it's not that I didn't enjoy this new skills that I was kind of acquiring during this whole time, but it definitely takes a lot more of your time, because when you're trying to do everything yourself, you kind of have to sacrifice and use up that time that you could be utilizing towards marketing or some other things that you could be focusing on your business. It takes a lot of time, a lot of mental patience and effort, skill to some degree if you're good at learning things and being able to master it and utilize it in your business, because it's not just okay, well, I have to learn how to do all of these things, but are you going to do it in a way that is going to be beneficial to your business? Are you going to struggle with it and then kind of have more amateur results with it, and maybe your business will suffer in the long run because you are not very good at a certain aspect of your business? So these are some things to think about when you're first getting started, but it's very normal, I think, for most small business owners to want to do everything on our own, because again, most of the time it has to do with you are getting started on a limited budget, and it's better and easier for a lot of us to utilize the extra time that we have more than any extra money that we have to be able to pay other people. So the hard part, though, is that it's kind of like a vicious cycle when you're choosing between time and money as a business owner, because a lot of times we may have limited amounts of both. What if you don't have a lot of time? You don't have a lot of money. You're trying to start your business. It's very challenging. What is outsourcing? How do you go about doing that? When is the right time to go about outsourcing and paying people to do certain things in your business for you? And just, we're going to dive into these topics in today's podcast episode. So let's go ahead and talk about it. Hello, and welcome to episode 11 of the Candle Business Podcast. I'm your host, Erica Marie Morris, and I am so happy to have you with me today. If you are watching here on YouTube, you may have noticed that I am not on screen for today's podcast episode. It is just a medley of different candle making, labeling, footage that I have that I'm throwing together, and you may see this a lot more coming up. I'm kind of thinking about blending some of my older Make Candles With Me podcast style videos and the Candle Business Podcast, because again, as I've mentioned before, being a mom, sometimes it's just easier for me to do a voice recording and putting the clips together. Plus, instead of just staring at my face the whole time, at least you get to watch some fun candle making footage. So if you like this, let me know in the comment section below, or give this video a thumbs up if you're watching on YouTube. And before I get into today's video, because I always have new people tuning in to today's episode, is if you are somebody who is wanting to get started in your candle business, I do have a free download for you. It is a candle business launch checklist. You can go to ericamarieMorris.com/checklist and just put in your email. I will send you the checklist directly to your email, and you will also be signed up to my email list. Don't worry, I don't spam. I gotta be honest, you guys. It's like once a month right now that I'm sending out an email. It's so bad. Oh my gosh. I swear, like my mind is in so many different places right now. So that kind of takes a little bit of a back burner, but I'm still wanting to make sure that I am trying to be as helpful as I possibly can, because on YouTube I can only do so much. When I have the email list of, people that are wanting to get started with a candle business or who are currently running a candle business, I'm able to chat more directly with you and give you more detailed information directly to your inbox. And it's really just to be helpful for you and create, other digital products that are going to be helpful for you as well. So if you're interested in that, make sure to check out either the link in the description box below, or make sure to go to that website URL and download your checklist. So today we are discussing the struggle, the real hard struggle of time and money as a business owner, as well as trying to do it all, and when to outsource different business tasks. How do you go about doing that? I feel like this topic is a huge, huge struggle for so many of us because, again, now that I'm a mom, I really, 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 really value my time. And it's very, very limited. Time already is a limited resource, so I feel like it's even more limited when you're a parent. So I'm really trying to utilize the time that I do have, and I know that so many of us have a lot of limited time. Running a business is hard, not only because of everything you need to do and learn to make it successful, but it usually eats up two of the most limited resources, which is time and money. And most people don't have enough of these already, so it's hard to imagine that we have to have an abundance of both of these in order to be successful. But I do think that the truth is that it's not that we have to have an abundance of time and money to be successful. It's that we need to know which tasks in our business that we need to spend time on and which tasks we need to spend money on, aka outsourcing. So having an abundance is going to accelerate a business's growth. So if you have a lot of time and a lot of money, you're going to have a higher chance of being successful, but it does not guarantee success. I actually think that patience is a key factor for anyone struggling with not having enough time or money when wanting to start a business. And this may mean holding off on launching until you save up enough money on the side to get going. Or it may mean sacrificing your Friday and Saturday nights in order to focus on testing your candles until you find the right formula. And honestly, I kind of had more time than I did money when I first started my candle business. I was actually running another small resale business. So I got started on eBay, where I was sourcing and reselling used clothing. And that was a very small profit. It had a very slow profit turnaround time, I would say. It took a while sometimes to sell the clothes to make that money and that profit. But what I did was I did utilize that money towards my candle business. So any of the supplies that I was ordering, I was using that towards the candle business. And then once I launched my candle business, then it was just kind of reinvesting that money back into the business. And this is what I recommend for anybody that is feeling like they don't have enough money on the money side of things. And I highly recommend that you find some way to either sell something, work extra hours at the job that you're working at, work overtime, part-time job, do some kind of delivery service, do some kind of freelance work, do something that you're able to have a set maybe account or separate business account or something where you're putting money in there, because I do think that getting started with your candle business, to have a good amount of money, I believe I had made a video on YouTube where I was talking about how much it costs to start up a candle business. And I think that anywhere from $2,500 to $3,000 plus dollars is a good place to be when you are getting started. I know that can sound like a lot of money when you're getting started, but I promise you it's going to feel better to have that buffer with that income. And it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to have that much money when you are getting started. You can get started with a few $100s, but it is going to be challenging to put all the pieces together that you need to put into it, to be able to, get going. But if you, are taking it slow, and let's say you've been doing it as a hobby and the combination of, your jar, your wax, your wicks, and everything is looking good, and you just want to get started with just a few cents, and you're doing maybe some local sales to get started, I don't see why you couldn't get started for $400, $500, $600 with, supplies that you need for your candles. Then whatever you make on that, you can just reinvest it back into the business. Really, every business is going to be different, and it really just depends on how you're wanting to structure and where you're wanting to take your business. And when it comes to figuring out when and how you want to start outsourcing certain tasks in your business, I think this is going to, again, vary based on you as the individual business owner and the kind of business that you are running, because every business owner is going to have a different set of skills, and the vision for your business is going to be different. So, it's going to look unique to every situation. But I would first start by looking at all of the areas of your business and determine which parts would be most challenging and time consuming for you to do on your own. This would be a good place to start when it comes to figuring out which tasks need to be outsourced. So for instance, doing your taxes on your own may be high up on the list. So you decide to pay a bookkeeper and a CPA, which is a certified public accountant, to file your taxes for you. This is what I did. I actually do my own bookkeeping, but I do have my CPA do my taxes for me. But I will say that as soon as we are financially able to, I would love to hire a bookkeeper, because that is definitely something way more on the back burner. And I'm trying to catch up for 2023 right now and get all of that categorized and figure it out. I have to reconcile all of my bank accounts too, which is super fun. So basically, if you just have to figure out, which tasks seem like they would be the most challenging to learn, maybe skill sets that aren't your skill set, or maybe it's just paying for something that's going to make your life easier. So if you are paying for extra things that are already pre-made for you, templates, things that are already there and going to set you up and going to save you time, then that's definitely something to look into. So for instance, yes, I'm going to be talking about one of my products, but it's my digital candle business planner. And that is something that I created that's already set up and tailored towards candle business owners. So if you're looking for a planner, that may be something that you might be interested in. And that just is going to save you time from having to set everything up yourself. So just thinking about, laying everything out, laying out all the tasks and figuring out, okay, what is realistic? I have to audit myself and ask myself, what are my skill sets? What am I good at? Am I really good at picking up on things and learning really quickly and, implementing it? Or am I going to struggle with this and it's going to be more challenging and more frustrating for me? And maybe it's just better to hire somebody for this side of things. So basically, I just think that it's a good idea to start outsourcing when it becomes when it makes financial sense for you and your business. So when you're looking at your finances and you think, okay, you know what, I can actually afford to pay somebody to do this part so I can save the time. And I also think that when you value that task being done more than you value having that money in your bank account, that is also another another way that you can think about it. So I have paid actually recently a local photographer to photograph my photos. Yes, I love doing product photography, but again, my time is way more limited now. So I'm starting to look into outsourcing a lot more because it is just helping me save time. And it also gives a different creative perspective on my products as well. And then I also outsource some Photoshop work as well for my photos. And that really helps because I just don't have the time to learn all the ins and outs of Photoshop. So basically, when we're looking at the overview of time versus money, and I understand, I think what's hard is that in the beginning, you're trying to do everything yourself. And if you're like me, I almost have taken so much pride in wanting to do everything myself that it has limited me in the growth of the business. So, for the longest time, I was doing everything. And slowly I started, being a little bit more open to having some help. And the first help that I got was my husband taking over the production of the candles. And oh my goodness, that has been the most massive help ever. It has been a huge, huge help. I wouldn't change a thing. It has been wonderful. And this, will also come into play for us if we need to hire an employee, or for you if you are looking into hiring an employee, or in the future if that is something that you may do. That is something that all businesses have to do if they want to grow to any length of success, because again, you can't be able to do as much yourself as you can if you hire help. And I am all about help these days. The more help I can get, the more my life is happy, and I am happy. I have to be okay with that. And it's really helped me, I think, a lot, with becoming a mom, of just being like, you know what? I can't do it all, and it's okay. It is okay if you can't do it all, and no business owner is able to sustain doing it all. You do have to weigh the pros and cons between time and money, figure out what's going to work for you, but realize that over time, you have to learn what is going to be the best choices for you and your business that is going to lead to a successful longevity of your business. We want to have a long longevity of our business. We don't want to burn out early. We don't want to, set ourselves up for failure because we are not able to be humble enough to audit ourselves and realize that we're not good at certain things and we need to hire a professional who's going to do it much better. So I really hope that today's podcast episode really kind of spoke to you, this vicious cycle of time and money, the struggle of trying to do it all, and then also trying to figure out, what do I outsource? How do I go about doing that? And, just figuring out, that you don't have to be like this crazy superhero when it comes to your business. Although I've tried. I've tried. I've tried. I mean, I've done so many different things. I've spread myself so thin that I have felt like I can't give anything anymore to anything. So reeling it back in and being able to outsource those tasks, it just gives you so much more mental peace, knowing that, you can keep growing and you are still the owner. You still have all the decisions, and, but you just have a little bit more time and energy that you're saving. So, I really hope you enjoyed today's podcast episode. If you did, make sure to leave this a big thumbs up if you're watching on YouTube, or make sure to rate today's episode if you're watching on Spotify or Apple, Apple Podcasts or something like that. But I will definitely see you in the next one.